Welcome to Rachel and Nick. Hi guys! Today we're gonna talk about how we save up money for our long trip. The thing you don't know about us is that we are super rich. So we can afford to travel anywhere in the world and we can buy whatever we want. We can do anything. And hope this is true, but that's not the case. We actually had to save up money for a long time for the trip. So we've got a list of how we save up the money for the trip. And if you follow these rules that I'm about to tell you, then you can surely do the same and travel all around the world. So let's get started. Number one, you need a job.
I was doing full-time hours, so I was trying to pull a lot of that money into savings.
And I had a full-time job every now and then, but at that time we were focusing on Melbourne video content on our YouTube channel, so I had to kind of divide my time for working and making videos. So I had this on and off full-time job, but we did still have a job. My second tip is stop going out. Well, it's actually one of the most strict rules that we had, and it's actually the hardest rule that we had to follow because we love going out, we make food videos and we have to spend money.
We're a bit more mindful of where we were going, so we did more cheap eats and all that kind of thing. But also if you are going to a fancier place or just a more expensive cafe, sometimes we just shared more. So we just buy one meal, like a bigger meal usually, and we just kind of shared.
And we usually spent money on weekends instead of on weekdays, so that we can save up money during the weekdays. My third tip is shop grocery every 3 days or weekly. So in that way, you know, you have heaps of food in the fridge and you know that you have to consume all of it before it goes bad. That rule is really good because it kind of stops us ordering takeaway food.
You definitely get more tempted too when you're walking down the supermarket aisles. It's so easy to get tempted for snacks. So we tried to stop that by making sure we just didn't have as many trips to the supermarket. It definitely makes you save money.
The next tip is sell everything that you don't need. Or for our case, we sold literally every single item in the house, from furniture to cars and other things. So we sold so many things. We had to say goodbye to some of our bears. That was the most tragic part of the selling.
It might feel like you can't really get much for some little knickknacks and stuff, but it really does all add up.
Another tip to save up more money is to make a savings account. I think it helped us big time because it was a kind of fulfilling to see that money accumulates in that account, and we did not touch that account at all. So we just saved up money weekly or monthly, and you know, this is the money that you use when you want to, and you just try to work out your weekly or monthly budget within your normal account, and hopefully you don't touch the savings account. I recommend you to find the right bank that gives you good interest rates too. At this time I didn't use that tip, but when I first moved to Australia, before leaving Korea for Australia, I saved up about $10,000 and my interest rates was quite high, so I saved up about $600 interest itself. That was really amazing. I don't think that they'll exist now, but I'm just saying, it's worth to have a look at what sort of interest rate your bank offers. Now you are fully ready, you're ready to fly, and we have to stay home because of the situation. But in the future, we don't know what the future holds, and I'm sure that you'll be ready. And then now you need to look out for the opportunities to save up money while you're there. But the first thing is that you have to look out for good flight deals.
If you're not planning so far ahead, you can't really get those really good deals. So we spend a lot of the time on Google Flights, just constantly looking for deals until we found a really good one, which was on Scoot Airlines, and it was really, really cheap.
So this is Scoot Airline operates from Australia to Europe or to Asia, and we got this ticket to Malaysia at $300, so it was really, really super cheap. I know Malaysia was a little bit closer to Australia than any other countries, but it's still an amazing deal. So we got that ticket right away, and then we got another ticket from Malaysia to Germany at $300 again by Scoot. So we were really, really happy about the choice.
While we're overseas too, always finding the cheap option. So instead of a train, maybe take a bus, those kind of things. But also sometimes plane too, like Ryanair, EasyJet, they're very, very cheap options. So definitely look around. Don't straight away go for an airfare that you think's okay. You can always try to wait a little bit longer, because you can find ones that are really, really cheap and it will really save you on the long run.
The next pricey thing when you travel is accommodation. Unless you're thinking of sleeping on the street, we all have to organize accommodation. We always organize our accommodation in advance before the arrival time at the destination. In that way, we can find the best house at a reasonable price. We used Booking.com and Airbnb. Most of the time we used Airbnb. If you want to get discounts on your Airbnb, then please click the link in the description to get some discounts on your visit. In that way, we get some credit as well. Anyway, back to the topic. So yeah, we always booked accommodation through Airbnb or sometimes with Booking.com. And one tip I want to give you is that check out your mileage. We have Asia miles, so we had some mileage before going on this trip. So we used that mileage for some hotels in Europe, and we didn't think that was possible. I thought we can only use the mileage for flights, but actually you can use them for accommodation as well, so look out for them. The last tip is to give yourself daily allowance. We gave ourselves $40 and that was it. Some countries are much more costly, but we try to keep the budget, and it can be quite hard at times, and we had to cook at home, which is fine, but we didn't buy as many souvenirs as we hoped. It kind of restricted us to go somewhere really incredible, like some museums in France and stuff.
But also with the whole $40 a day thing, sometimes you can decide to have a very cheap day where you go to, say, a museum that's free, and another day you can go to a fancy restaurant and stuff too. So it doesn't mean you don't really want to make it so you miss out on a city, because I think it's really important you go to those things that can be a little bit more pricey, because they can be really great experiences. So I'll definitely recommend kind of setting yourself a daily budget, but knowing that you can sometimes go below and then sometimes go high, and just so it evens out in the end, so you can definitely see everything while you're overseas. I would say one of the best tips really is to budget. So what I did was set up a Google Sheet. So that's a nice free, easy kind of software to use, and it's online. And what I really love about that is that you don't have to save it, so it's just automatically saved, so you never lose it, and it's just easy to access when you're overseas too, and keep changing the budget too. And one of those things is being really realistic with that budget. I think that's one of the key things to do. So definitely put every little expense on that budget, and that's a really good way of kind of knowing where you're at.
I think I told you before, the most important thing about long travel is that planning ahead. You gotta think strategically, like how many days can I last? You gotta be conscious of how much you are spending during the trip. It's like all about thinking and organizing. And I'm sure you guys are very smart and you guys will work out while you are traveling. And thank you for watching for this video, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!